Hi guys, in this video today we're going to look at how you can defend against spin. Now this is a slightly more advanced video because in this situation we're assuming that your opponent can hit with enough spin for the ball to die off the glass. So here we're going to teach you how you can defend against that and get that ball back effectively. So to begin with, we'll talk about the type of ball that you'll get that you'll have to defend off that glass. Now when we talk about spin, we're predominantly talking about slice because obviously topspin will bounce off that back glass and come up. So we're looking at a couple of shots where your opponent is hitting a slice volley or slice bandeja that will come off that back glass, and normally because of the spin of the ball it hits the glass and then will go in a downward direction. Now if they've hit a good shot, there's usually two options. Either they will hit further up the court, in which case the second bounce will be at this glass or around that back glass, meaning that you'll have to defend right after the glass, or if possible you can take it before the glass. And the other option is for them to hit deep with a lot of slice, where it will land around here on the back glass, hit the glass and then immediately come down, which is often a very difficult ball to defend. Here you can see the pair opt to take the first two balls before the glass. They see the slice on the ball and wants to hit it before the reaction with the glass, again with this block off the bandeja. Now you can see how far back the player goes to get behind that ball and keeps his racket head up so he's able to hit that lob. The aim off those balls is either to play down low or to hit a lob if you're able to. You're only able to hit that lob if you can get that racket open and underneath the height of the ball. If we go back to the basics of the shot, we'll break it down into two parts of the technique that will be effective here. So to begin with, first of all, the racket, it goes back in this position with the elbow into the side. Now what that does is it keeps you having a compact swing. If you take the elbow away and the ball comes with slice, you're not going to have time and you're going to have a wild lash at it. But if your elbow is into your side and your racket is pointing back like this, then when that ball comes off, even if it comes off quickly, you can just have a short, compact swing and help that ball on its way. The second part is the positioning of the body. Now you always want to make sure that you're behind that ball so your contact is in front. Now if that ball has got slice on it and it's going to die, you need one extra step back in order to make sure that you get behind that ball. And it's more than likely that you're going to have to be in a lower position because that ball is going to come off low, so you need to make sure that you're low in order to get that contact in the right place. Another important thing to consider is the speed of your racket head. Now this is something that is a really common error with newer players or players that are not used to doing this, in that they feel that the ball comes off fast with slice, so they in turn fire their racket at the ball, and then obviously they lose control because they're swinging at it too fast and they can't bring the ball down softly onto the other side of the court. Now, one way to avoid this is when you take your racket back, when that ball comes forward, is to try and get your racket as close as possible to that ball. Obviously you don't want to touch it, but you want it to come so that when it comes and it comes off the back wall like this, your racket, if it's close, then all it needs to do is to swing forward and to contact like this. If you're taking your racket back way up here, you obviously need a faster racket head speed in order to get to that contact point. Now if the racket is already here, then it just needs a small adjustment, and really you want to think of it as helping the ball on its way, as opposed to trying to generate a lot of speed on that ball. Now just before I give you a bonus tip for the forehand and for the backhand side, please subscribe if you haven't already. Just click the button down below and it shows me that you're enjoying the video and you're liking this kind of content. Now, this bonus tip. For the forehand side, if the ball is coming back and it's going to die very fast and it's often off one of those slice hard volleys from your opponent, a good thing you can do is to actually drop the racket head. Now I know this might feel weird at the beginning and you might feel that it gets a bit wristy, but if you drop the racket head down like this, when that ball comes off fast off the glass, all you need to do then is just to control your wrist into the contact, and that will help you scoop up those lower balls. Now that's more difficult to do on the backhand side because obviously on the backhand side it's more difficult to use your wrist to hit away from the ball like that. So the main thing to do on the backhand side is to keep the racket face open so that when it does come off low, you can get low as well and you can scoop that ball up, controlling the ball back over to the other side of the net. This is a great example of how the player gets low on that backhand side, and you can see the racket face is open so that he just has to go underneath that ball and can still play low, forcing his opponent to play a defensive shot which he can then take advantage of. I hope you enjoyed that video. If you haven't watched the back glass videos already, particularly the second one, it talks about the angle off that back glass. It's definitely worth having a watch. Please like the video, and I'll see you on the next one.